Let's start with a reality most of us are very familiar with. Looking forward to a holiday weekend, Memorial Day weekend. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of those big discounts and the pressure to attend everything. And don't even get me started on the fact that most people have completely forgotten what Memorial Day really is all about. So what are some tips we can be thinking about right now to better plan for the upcoming weekend? Well, ladies, come back and join me for episode 46 and find out.
Are you a strong, independent woman who's passionate about her career? Then this podcast is perfect for you. Based on her book, The Career Woman's Secret Playbook, career coach Dr. Dawn Hamby shares the kind of insider secrets you can only know if you've hired, fired, and promoted employees over the past 30 years.
Ladies, I'm on a mission to help busy women just like you create a career and life you love without sacrificing your work-life balance to get it. Come join me as we inspire and motivate each other only as women can and have lots of fun along the way.
With Dr. Dawn's tools, strategies, and action steps, you can unleash your personal and professional power in a whole new way. Here's today's episode.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Career Woman's Secret Playbook podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Dawn, CEO and founder of Dr. Dawn Shop Talk. And as we like to say at Shop Talk, let's talk shop. In other words, these are the kinds of topics we love to tackle on this podcast because I'm going to zero in on those issues that I know firsthand for either myself or my clients or even my staff have interfered with our success. So each and every time I can think of one more issue that we can tackle, especially on a Monday, I'm going to be bringing that to you on the podcast. If you're new here, welcome. We're so excited that you're here. And if you just recently found us, if you like today's episode, would you please consider rating, reviewing, subscribing, and definitely sharing our content? We're wanting to get this message out to more amazing professionals, just like you, of course. And if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to give us a thumbs up, and we'd love for you to subscribe as well. All right, ladies, let's get to some tips that I think can really help you not only plan a little better for Memorial Day weekend, but to keep the message in mind while you're also being very cognizant of your budget while you're shopping for those bargains. So today's episode, I think you're going to like that title. You clicked on it, so I guess you did. We're calling episode 46, Balancing Bargains and Boundaries. Let me start with the healthy boundary of the holiday itself. As a military mom, I can tell you, it's hard not to get a little offended when people say Happy Memorial Day. Memorial Day is not Veterans Day. This is actually the holiday in which we honor those that have served our country and have passed away in service of their country. Now, I'm very blessed that my daughter and my son-in-law are safe and sound. They are stateside, but I do think about that. I've got a lot of friends who are military, and it's just near and dear to my heart to really think about those that have passed on before us and honoring their lives. What I think is kind of a chuckle, and I hate to say a chuckle when we're talking about something serious here, but in our country, oftentimes the way we celebrate something significant is we give everybody the day off from work and we put stuff on sale. Well, I guess that's not too horrible, right? But I just wanted to put that message out there in honor of all that have served and all that have gone before us to protect our freedom. And I just think it's kind of important to mention that and to send all the love out to the military that are currently serving in all the branches and their families, right? Because if you're like me and you're a military mom, military spouse, military daughter, son, what have you, it's not just that family member who's affected, right? It's the whole family. So sending out all the love to our wonderful military out there. Just wanted to go ahead and just mention that. Okay, now let's get into some of the fun stuff. What can we do to make sure that we're really relaxing and enjoying the holiday without getting sucked in to some of those bargains that might really lead us down a terrible path, okay? Because is it really a sale? right? If number one, you don't need it. And number two, what if the price is just kind of jacked up and then they just put it on this 60% off sale? And then if you just waited or maybe shopped around a little bit and just didn't really get sucked into that particular sale, maybe you could find that item at a similar price, right? You just never know. It's great marketing to put stuff on sale. I put stuff on sale as a business owner, so I get it. So I'm not going to diss the, stores out there because your girl loves a sale. I really do. But I think it's important to follow, especially this first tip, so that you walk away feeling like you got a good deal without breaking the bank. Okay, guys, so tip number one is setting a budget. That's right. If you go into a holiday weekend and you're thinking, okay, this is the amount I'm going to let myself spend, I saved up for this, and you also have an idea in mind of what you really need and what you think you feel would be the appropriate cost. It's not that things cost so much. Sometimes it's because it's worth so much. That's a mindset shift that I work on with my clients because sometimes it's really necessary. But that doesn't mean that you're willing or even think it's a good idea to spend a certain amount of money, especially if it's something maybe you wouldn't use often, or maybe in terms of fashion, maybe it's something trendy. So let me use a fashion example. I'm so proud my daughter learned this lesson early, and I was so proud in terms of how she took this and kind of took it to the next level. When she was in high school, actually, when she was in middle school, we started there. We had so much fun with back to school shopping. I know other people get really stressed out about it, but I think part of it is because they just didn't plan for it. Well, you guys, we really did. And she had so much fun shopping online ahead of time, like scoping out the sales. But she also was such a sharp dresser. She got best dressed in high school. So proud of that because she was fabulous, fabulously dressed. And she loved fashion as much as me for sure. And I thought it was so fascinating. She would put together this is before Pinterest, before you could really put together a board. She actually came up with her own fashion board, like these looks. She saved it on her iPad. She saved all these looks. Then once she had an idea of the way she wanted to dress, especially for that first day back to school, then she looked at the stores that sold those items in our local area. So while she's doing that, Mama Bear here is prepared to take that time off. We would leave a little early on a Friday. Now, I didn't check her out of school early. I don't believe in, shortchanging her education to shop, but I would shorten my workday. So I would take a little time off from work so I could beat the traffic, pick her up from school, and we right away hit those sales because in our community, those sales usually started on a Friday. In your community, it might be on a Saturday, maybe it's a one day. We also now have these one day sales on Saturday where it's tax free. So whatever works for you, I'm there for you. I understand. Been there, done that. Okay. But anyway, you guys, she got a budget. And let me tell you what I did. I gave it to her in cash. If you're not doing this, you need to think about it. If you're not using that David Ramsey system of those cash envelopes, and there's a lot of other financial experts out there that recommend this, you guys, it really works. I will do a financial episode about cash envelopes and how it changed our life, my husband and me, later. But for now, it started back then in my single mom days with my daughter, trying to figure out what's appropriate. And you guys, when you give your child $300, that was the max. We did up the budget eventually when she was a senior in high school. The max was $500. And let me also say this, when I say $300, I don't just mean for fashion. I mean for backpacks, school supplies, shoes. She needed something special for school, like a special school dance. Or if things got worn out and we really needed to replace a couple things, obviously I would do that. I had already created a pretty good foundational wardrobe for her. But this was an opportunity for her to understand that school can be expensive, even when it's public school. And I'm a huge fan of public school. So as a former public school teacher, that's where she went. And we really just had an amazing time. I loved seeing how she dressed. And I love that we stretched that budget. And when she had the power of cash in her hand, when she spent, let's say, $75 on something, and she gives that $100 bill and she gets 25 back, let me tell you the impact that makes. And then when she got to the school supply side of this shopping equation, yeah, she realized maybe she didn't have to have the fanciest lunchbox or backpack, or, her notebook didn't have to be top shelf, let's say. So it was a great lesson for her. And ladies, I advise you do the same thing. For any holiday weekend, if you want to do some shopping, really plan on what you want to get and have fun with it. Get something trendy. But remember, your professional and weekend wardrobe should be timeless. I'm working on coming up with a video because I'm redoing my closet. So I'm going to come up with a wardrobe video for you on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, again, give us that thumbs up. But it's going to be a podcast episode as well, because I think dressing timelessly as a professional woman and doing so on a budget is really important. If you agree, comment below and let me know. But I think that'd be really fun as I'm cleaning out my closet, donating things, and then working on reorganizing my closet. And actually, I'm customizing my closet. So I've been putting a little money away, talking about budget, to be able to customize my closet and completely have it kind of rebuilt. And we're just doing, to save money, we're just doing my side of the closet, not even my husband's side. But that's okay. I'm the one who's more complicated in the wardrobe department, right? I've got more options. I want more options. I have shoes, purses. He doesn't have half of that stuff, right? But in any case, although I have to say, he was very proud of me when we were dating that I had so few shoes. And that when I buy a new pair of shoes, do you know that man doesn't argue with me at all? Because you know what I'm like when it comes to shoes? You may be surprised about this because I'm so girly girl in so many ways. I do love my girly girl shoes and my comfy shoes and all those things. But you guys, I'm kind of cheap with my shoes. I will buy good quality, but again, your girl loves a sale here. So oftentimes I do get some cheaper shoes. Well, now that I'm 57, I need better quality. My feet can definitely feel it. I'm not 27 anymore, right? So my daughter Savannah, who's 25, enjoy the cheap shoes, sweetheart. This is the time to do it. But when you get a little older and you're 50 and fabulous like yours truly here, yeah, you're going to need better quality. But here's why my husband never gave me grief. I would wear those shoes out. He would literally look at a shoe and be like, honey, I see a hole in the bottom of your shoe. I'm not kidding. You can't be this high profile career consultant, business coach, all these things. And, you know, you cross your legs and you can see there's a hole in your shoe. This is crazy. So there are times when he's actually started chucking out my shoes. It's gotten that bad. So anyway, ladies, if that's your jam and you've got 100 pair of shoes, more power to you. But just make sure this upcoming weekend that you maybe get cash. Don't use that debit card. You won't feel the punch. And then enjoy it. Look at your budget. What can you spend? Do you really need to spend anything? But really, if you do, or if you just want to have fun and you've got room in your budget for it, enjoy it guilt free. I promise you, you won't be sucked in to these discounts that maybe just aren't worth it. Tip number 2, prioritizing and protecting your personal time. In other words, ladies, remember it is a holiday. In other words, you do need to have fun, but I want you to rest as well. It is so typical of the career women who listen to this podcast. They're type A personalities, most of them. They're go-getters. They want to get things done. They want to plan everything to the last minute. And you guys know I'm all about planning. I'm a huge believer in planning because I don't want time to feel like it's slipping through your fingers. Now, you guys, all throughout each episode on this podcast, when I can think about other episodes and videos that I've recorded, I'm going to mention them. I'm definitely going to put them in the show notes. So on the podcast, you can just scroll up and find those. If you're watching us on YouTube, just click on more. Sometimes you have to click on it twice for it to expand, and you're going to see links to previous episodes. So I have some awesome time management episodes for you. I also have some amazing episodes. Going back to that first tip, I've got some really great episodes on upskilling secrets because focusing on what you can and cannot control can really help you in terms of your budget. So I'll be sure to include those as well. So back to the fact that this is a holiday. I just don't want you to overcommit yourself. Don't overextend yourself so that you end up needing a holiday from your holiday. Happens all the time. So be selective of what you say yes to. And remember, it is okay to say no. That's part of those healthy boundaries we talk about. I've got a great playlist for you on that as well. No is a complete sentence. So again, guys, I'll include those videos if you need a little help with saying no. The big picture is to say yes to what really aligns with your values, what you're looking forward to, what you're passionate about, and what you really believe you want to commit your energy to. Last but not least, tip number 3, balancing your professional obligations with holiday events. Work-life balance is something we all struggle with, but especially the women on this podcast, because again, these gals are go-getters. Does that sound like you? If it does, again, you're definitely in the right place. So what happens? My women clients, oh my goodness, you guys, they need work-life balance so badly. And ironically, when they push back and they resist my tips on work-life balance, it's because that's actually when they need it the most. It's kind of like those companies that cut training from their budget when they're struggling. And ironically, if they actually invested in professional development for their employees, they wouldn't be struggling. But I understand it seems like the easiest thing to cut, the thing that won't affect the budget the most. Well, the same can be true when it comes to your time. Time is like money. Time is even more important than money because we can never get time back. Money we can make more of, but time is different. It is a commodity that we know is so invaluable because when it's gone, it's gone. So how do you create work-life balance for yourself on a holiday? Well, again, if you're utilizing tips number 1 and 2, you're going to feel good about how you're spending your time and spending your money. And you're going to be set up for success here because you're going to be more clear about those healthy boundaries and about making sure you're establishing work-life balance. Now, I've got some great videos about work-life balance, even on vacation. It's one of the first videos that pulls up when you go to my channel, but I'll still be sure to include those here. And speaking of work-life balance, if you missed the chance to be part of our first work-life balance live workshop, our 21-day reboot, check out our website, you guys. It was so popular. We're definitely going to bring it back for those of you that missed it. So be sure to go to drdawnshoptalk.com and let us know that you're interested, and we'll make sure you're the first notified. So again, ladies, to make sure that you are actually resting and relaxing and setting that work-life balance, make sure for the holiday weekend, if you got to, if there's a big deadline on Tuesday, let your family and friends know, I'm going to be unavailable during this time, but use that time so wisely that it doesn't take much time out of your weekend. And for the rest of the weekend, go ahead and hit that out of office reply so that you can come back to work on Tuesday feeling refreshed, re-energized, and raring to go. Thank you so much, folks, for tuning in to another powerful episode of the Career Woman's Secret Playbook podcast. Remember, it's not about just surviving the holiday season and the sales. It's about thriving. And I know with just these 3 tips alone, you can see a real difference, but just be committed to putting these in place. That's right, folks. I'm talking about it today, so you have a whole week to plan for this so you can really enjoy next weekend. And as we wrap up today's episode, don't forget our motto here on the podcast, and it's this: if you're not having a fantastic day, you've got the power to make one. I know our episode is over, but this is just the beginning. If you're ready to take action but don't know where to start, just head over to drdonshoptalk.com for lots of free resources, ways to work together, and for even more. Subscribe to the Dr. Dawn Shop Talk YouTube channel. Remember, ladies, you don't have to take this journey alone. I've got you covered. Till next time.